it just looks so scary and it sucks. And I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'll read me a book.
Right.
I've been reading so many books. I'm like, I don't want to watch TV. I'll read a book.
I need to get back into reading. I said this. I said I want to get back into reading, but I need to just take a half hour out of my day before bed and read a chapter or something because it's hard. It's hard. I did go on my walk today, did my 2 miles. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, you have us live.
Are you?
It says live. We're recording live. Yeah, so I really don't watch anything. I've been reading some pretty good books and my Bible.
Okay. The Bible.
Things to live by, honey. Teaching me to be a whole new creature. Ooh, that makes me rock back and forth. Ooh, that makes
I can't.
You said
that makes me rock. That makes me rock.
You ready?
Come on in the room, Jesus. Come on in the room.
Let's do this.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
She said, come on, Jesus, in the room.
In the room.
It's the Hey Girl, Hey podcast. Urban Media. Today, I am your radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I am the chatter chick, LaShawn Tipton.
And I'm y'all millennial chick, Jiri.
Millennial. You gotta use all the teeth in the tongue. Millennial.
That's how I gotta do it.
Millennial. Let me just tell you, I always miss you all. Every week I miss y'all just being around. I love you guys. I miss you guys so much.
Oh, we miss you too.
So much, thanks so much for the energy. So much that Jerry and LaShawn and I want to talk about. First things first, the news about Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
We didn't know this woman until this incident happened.
Right.
And now we are mentioning her if not every 5 minutes, every hour, on the hour, wherever you're looking. If it's not a billboard and it's an advertisement, if it's a post on social media, and if you just got out of prison and you were not allowed to read anything or watch anything, Breonna Taylor.
I think they were talking about it on the yard at prison.
I think they might have. Breonna Taylor was killed. When was she?
It was in
She
March.
was killed at home. It was 6 months ago. This happened, and in Kentucky. And she was home with her boyfriend, and according to stories, and some of them were conflicting. The police officers were issuing search warrants, and they were looking for a particular person who may or may not have been associated with Breonna Taylor. She was at home at the time with her then boyfriend, where it's reported they heard someone entering the residence.
Yeah,
they did not hear a knock. And according to Kentucky law, they were by law allowed to operate a no knock entry. Right. So he, having a registered weapon, fired, and police returned fire, then killing Breonna. So, but she laid for hours without anyone calling for assistance. This young lady was an EMT, so she served the city, and I don't believe she had any prior records or anything. Not that it mattered, because the story was she was innocent. Unarmed. She was an innocent innocent victim, another one. And for so long, not one of those police officers were arrested or charged until Wednesday. Police department detective Brett Hankinson had been charged with 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment, which is a misdemeanor, and I think a fine of $10,000 or something like that, by the grand jury in the fatal shooting of Breonna. Before then, and before there was any indictment, the family was awarded $12 million from the city of Kentucky. No, not the city of Kentucky.
Yeah,
Louisville,
Kentucky.
From Louisville, Kentucky. So, but they did not I guess, admit to any wrongdoing.
Yeah, when you pay,
so
when you pay it out, you're
yeah.
admitting it. You're admitting your wrongdoing when you pay.
Yeah.
To the public, yes.
Yeah.
But by law, they're
By
saying
law.
they did not admit any wrongdoing. So, you know, it's unfortunate that this is happening and people are, you know, have taken to the streets and they're protesting because, you know, there's no fair justice system, you know, when it comes to Black people. You know, so just, I mean, the NBA, the WNBA, the NFL, so many prominent celebrities, high figures have voiced their opinions, even on the Emmys. I know, Jerry, we talked about that, about the Emmys. They talked about it. And, you know, nothing has been, this is what we got. So what do you guys say on that?
Am I surprised? No, I'm not.
And
surprised.
That's been the consensus, though. A lot of people have said, I'm not surprised I knew it was going to happen.
You know, I would have been surprised for a different. And the thing that got me was they weren't charging the officer because of her murder. They were charging because of, what was it, like a disturbance to the neighbors or something like that. And
he shot the neighbor's apartment or so. He got in trouble. He got charged for that.
Wow, that was like really a slap in the face, you know. That's and then people were mad at, what was it, the governor, whoever, the Black
Attorney
man,
General,
Black. And, you know, it's so unfortunate. I never heard of a law where police can just enter your home without knocking and saying who they are. You know, if that was the case, then her boyfriend had every right to shoot, you know, and it was dark, you know, he didn't know who they were. It could have been a stranger trying to break into their home. And if that was the case, it still doesn't give it no right. You know, that was just, it's horrific. You're not safe anywhere. You're not safe driving. You're not safe in your own home.
You're Black.
Because you're Black. It's horrible. It is so horrible, you know, and God rest her soul. God bless her family. You know, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I don't know if there's going to be like a civil lawsuit.
Should there be a civil lawsuit?
There's going to be a civil court case on this. I think the FBI and all of them are going to look into it as well.
Yeah, I definitely they have to. They have to for sure.
Yeah.
LaShawn, what did you think?
You know, I hate to say I was surprised. I wasn't surprised. I hate to say I wasn't surprised. That I would have been surprised with a guilty verdict or something like. But the thing that got me is that it wasn't even about her and her death. This whole indictment or whatever they did to the officer had nothing to do with her death.
Right.
It had to do with his bad shooting, and he shot into somebody else's apartment, which happened to be a white person, but there were 13 people that were witnesses, and they only took they only listened
witness
to
account
from the white person that said that the bullets came into their house, but it went to other houses of people that were of color. And so they indicted him. I mean, when I read the whole story, I said, this makes no sense. And then for Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General for Kentucky, when he got on there, and the things that he said, it sound heartfelt, but when you read in between the lines, it's like, if this is the outcome and he was supposed to be speaking on behalf of Breonna, what did he say?
Yeah.
He never mentioned her name. He said, this is a sad day, but you couldn't have. So the family are now trying to get the court hearings, the writings to see exactly how did he represent her? Because obviously he didn't, if this is the result that you get. Surely, excuse me, if they would have known all the things that she went through. Oh, excuse me. And so I think the record said she was shot 5 times when she was shot 6. Excuse me.
Does the family have, drink some water, take a sip. Does the family have the right to the grand jury records? Can they obtain those transcripts?
From what I know, the lawyer can. Yeah, Benjamin Crump, he said that he was going to sequester those
I'm not a fan of his.
I am now. You know, I think in the beginning it was like a little shady, like he was chasing all, but hey, he's getting results. People are calling him, and he hasn't said anything yet that was shady to me.
Nor has he won a case.
Yeah, well, no.
I'm not pooping on him. I'm just saying, I'm like,
it's really hard to win when the cards are stacked against you
versus the country.
Right. Yeah. They're so stacked against. I don't think anybody. I don't think if we would have got a lawyer, a white lawyer. I don't think if we would have got, you know, the ones here. What's the guy who does all the cases here? I don't think if they would have got him. The white guy who does it here.
Okay, I thought you meant Blaine Jones.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know Blaine, but he's black. I'm talking about a white guy. They would have got like a white guy from here to do it. It wouldn't have worked. I just think it was just against him. And then for you know who to say nothing about Breonna whenever he goes out on his political speeches, and he just mentioned the 2 cops that were shot in the riot.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, nothing, no compassion, no nothing.
Well, to even bring him up, we can spill into our next topic because, and just in case you're watching and you're listening, we are not a political platform. We are not a political podcast. We just can't help that these are our hot topics for the week. And, you know, these were the stories that everyone else is talking about. And we record the show on Thursday and we play it back on Saturday. And today we're actually live just to kind of get some feedback if you want to ask a question or whatever. But he did something, in my opinion, that was so disrespectful to the legacy, your president, to the legacy of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And we're going to talk about that in the next half because I think that the disrespect is just super real.
Yeah.
So I was saying this to my coworkers today before we go to break. I'm not mad at the Republican Party because you're going to do what you do. The evil that is spewing, the turmoil, the anger and the hurt and the pain that a person's feeling towards a race, a gender, a color, a sexual orientation, whatever, the accusations that are being made, the inhumane way that humans are being treated, if that makes any sense. That's what I have a problem with. And this woman, we'll talk about it, asked just one little thing. And he was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's what he does.
does. So we'll talk about that. We're going to cut short because I definitely want to talk about this because I know I couldn't wait to talk to LaShawn about this. I want to talk about it. Let's count it down. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban Media today. Look at Bo.
What is he doing? Oh my goodness.
It's the Hey Girl
down, Bo.
It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban
Slobbery
Media today.
mouth.
We got Bo right here. You know, he's like, oh, you on Zoom, mommy? Oh, okay, cool. What's up, everybody? What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, so it's the Hey Girl Hey podcast, Urban Media today. This is the They Said segment. If you've never listened to the show, if you haven't watched it on YouTube, we kind of talk about what the word is on the streets. And we haven't talked about, we haven't had a They Said segment in a minute, but for some reason, they are saying how disrespectful somebody's president was about honoring what we think was the last wish of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg. She was laid to rest. She's actually in repose currently right now. But our president was greeted with jeers and boos when he went to visit her casket. She passed away on Friday, 87 years old. We thought, when somebody's up there, you like, she lived a long life, but we was like, come on. We never had that Betty White blood. Just
right. Just a little, go a couple more months. Because she was hanging in there. Like, she had surgery like, and then she came
not
back.
Yet, Jesus. Not yet, Jesus.
I was like,
not yet.
Yeah.
Had a few girl.
Not yet, Jesus. I'm not ready, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
Yes, oh, Lord. I was like, who has, like, she had surgery, like remove body parts because of cancer. And she comes back a couple days later with her scarf on, her little hair back in the bun, like, how you doing? So when they said she was dead, I said, oh, no, give her a couple hours. She'll be back.
Yeah.
I was praying. I was like, she'll be back. Come on back. Yeah, I was like, they didn't check her right because she on her way back.
Jesus said, come on home, baby girl. Come on home.
Yeah.
But it was reported that her granddaughter said that the U.S. Supreme Court judge's last wish was not to be replaced before a new president is elected in November. And there's even record of a few Republicans. Was it Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham.
Was it Lindsey Graham or was it Mitch McConnell? I don't know.
Both of them.
That said that because for 2016 that they should wait until a new president is in office and can appoint a new Supreme Court judge. So
both of
that
them
didn't
said
happen.
That.
And Trump was like, no, we're gonna get her on Friday. I mean, not even lukewarm.
Yeah.
And not even in the ground yet.
No, Lindsey Graham had actually said it. And he said, you can record me when I say this, because he said it before.
He said it.
You should. But so now what I'm learning, this is why things don't surprise me. You can have it on camera. People can speak it. You can see it for yourself. And people, our government and some of the legislators are still going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
That man was on film and said, you can film me. That's how bad he is. You can film me saying this and you can keep it. So film is for records. So that he's on record saying it. And then he goes back and say, well, let's select someone before the next presidential election. And it's just
only be
30-something, 40-something days.
Yeah. And it's because that Supreme Court judge can decide if there's too close, that they can make a decision. I'm not,
when it comes to voting.
I didn't pay close attention in history class, but
yeah. So in terms of voting, they can make the decision. But then again, that's probably not true either. So I'm not taking anything right now as law. Nothing as law, nothing as truth. Because we had a president that said he can walk before he even became president. I can walk down the street and shoot somebody and nobody would do anything about it. Right now, at this time, in this current climate that we're in, and he's there, I kind of feel like he could probably do that.
Watch what you say.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to be on record.
Yeah. I'm not saying I can do that. I'm not saying that's not me.
Okay.
But this is what he said. And the way things are changing, like people are changing their voices, they're changing the law that, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, really? Like, isn't this the law you're not supposed to? But this man and this cult-like following that I feel that he has, that when he says things and he does the total opposite, and when you see people changing what they say to agree with him, when you see government change to agree with him about stuff, it's unbelievable. So, nothing surprising me anymore. It doesn't.
So the thing that I'm always okay, what now type person. All right. Yeah. So we see what we have right here. We see where, protesting is making some noise, it's getting the clickbait, it's getting the, the lead stories and the media, we're watching it and it's becoming hashtags and things like that. But what more? What else? What's next? What can you do? I am still hearing people say, I'm not voting. I am still hearing people say, I'm not voting. There's a video of a gentleman, what is his name? Yellow, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But he's on social media and he performed this song about the 3 levels of government. And I played it for my niece. His name is Yellow. I can't remember. But I played it. You saw it. I played it for my niece and he broke down like legislative, legislative, executive. I don't win a prize today. I missed it. Legislative, executive.
He should have put in like a Schoolhouse
I
Rock
have
type
it.
thing.
I have. It's just because what we're on right now, I can't think of it. But he broke it down and said the only election that many of us care about and that we know or are knowledgeable of is the presidential election, and that's not the most important one because the president doesn't really make the he doesn't really make it. Like you got to go Congress and you got to go the House and you got to go Senate and you got to do. I mean, you got to do that. You have to vote for your governors. You have to vote for the attorney generals and the treasurers and the judges, and you have to vote. And all this is important. So to sit back and say, I don't believe in it. It's just it's whatever. I'm not doing anything. You're just hurting more than you're helping.
Right.
You know, we go back to the Breonna Taylors and someone said, and we'll talk about this in our final 15. We got to protect the Black woman. Well, why weren't you protecting us before? We can't, you know, if we're going to start fresh, then commit to doing something and do it. And just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. If you're not going to vote, then shut the hell up. Then shut the hell up.
Yeah.
If you're going to vote, then vote. Take your kids with you when you go and vote. Yeah. Tell them the real story about what's going on and what does this mean. And vote. Pay attention to who you're voting for. For the Attorney General in Kentucky, is his seat up?
No, he just Daniel Cameron?
Was he just elected? Yeah,
he was just elected. So my understanding is that he really hasn't tracked too many cases. Like, how did he try this one? But he's a Republican, and he was like a pick of Trump's.
Yeah.
So he's married to
a Caucasian woman,
Mitch McConnell's niece.
Wow.
Or engaged to it, but I don't know.
He's married. He's married. And you know, I mean, Caucasian woman or whatever.
But the people, they work for the people.
Yeah.
So if you don't like what he's doing, vote him out.
Yeah, you got to vote at the local level first to get it to happen on a bigger level, because that's the way it operates. Like when I see these people protesting and marching, I'm always thinking to myself, well, man, and I've seen people really doing their due diligence when they're going out there asking people to vote. I think that's wonderful, because I've seen plenty of marches. But, you know, when people say they're not voting and they're out there marching and protesting, you're really just wearing the bottoms out on your shoes, and you're losing your voice because it's really not going to get heard. And if you think it's not going to get heard, voting in, you know, people locally, then try to go to court and see who the judge is. You know, you have a pick on all of that from that level on. So I don't know.
Another thing is, you can't think that everybody is going to be for you. Just make sure they're for fairness. You know what I'm saying? Like the two picks for, and I can't believe we turned into this little political platform here, but the two prospects that was reported that Trump was looking at, two women. One voted against. Oh crap! I need to have more research. I need to do
Which
better.
one?
Oh,
the two women.
Goodness. Yeah, but they had voted against two of them had voted against something. I can't. Was it the healthcare?
Well, I know both of them are against abortions.
I apologize. But there are some things that they just weren't.
You're probably Obamacare. I mean, for Trump to really like them, they have to be of like mind of him. That's what we have seen so far. And people that aren't, they kind of just drop out on their own, and then they talk stuff about them. But there has to be something about them. I think the one young lady, I think she might help him in terms of the Hispanic population, because of her background. So I don't know. It's hard to tell and what he's going through. And can I retract and go back when I was talking about Daniel? What is his name? Daniel Cameron. And I said something about his wife. It doesn't matter if she's Caucasian. It doesn't matter to me. That doesn't matter.
No, not at all.
Not a big deal. But it's interesting that I knew, I mean, I saw her, I was like, oh, he's married to a white woman. Okay. But Mitch McConnell's niece, I didn't hear that part. Alrighty now.
I think, folks are starting to get, there's that person with the clipboard starting to check some things, you know what I mean? And say, oh, well, this is what, I mean, if that's his choice, that's his choice.
That's your choice. Love who you love.
Just do what you want. I don't care. But I think that's just coming out now. And it could be a distraction. It could be a distraction. It doesn't mean that he doesn't love his people. I think I saw Blaine Jones on television earlier this week, and he was breaking down the justice system and how we get so upset about some of the verdicts, and we feel like it's not fair, but those are laws, and laws, they're broken, but can they be changed? Can there be new laws? Can they be restructured? Okay, so then we need to do what it is that we need to do to have these laws amended. So that means you have to be out on the forefront, and you have to go through that process to have those laws changed if you can. So you can't get mad at a decision if, and according to Mr. Attorney Jones, he was saying, if the evidence shows that this police officer did, and I know we were talking about Ruth Ginsburg, but this police officer, he executed his firearm. This is the way he did it. There are accounts, there's a witness. If it's showing by evidence that he did not commit the law, then my position, I have to say, whether it's emotional, I have to put emotion and personal effect to the side and abide by the law. Mm-hmm. So as a person, as a community member and a taxpayer and a registered voter, what is my position? My position is to do something about a law that I don't agree with.
Yeah. But it's all about how it's all about presentation too. So the presentation in terms of Breonna Taylor, the presentation was never put on her side. No one spoke up for her. The Attorney General never spoke up for her.
Yeah.
So of course, so okay, if you change it and make it the view that they made it about shooting and standing your ground and the whole deal, and he did shoot back. Okay, so there's a case. There's a verdict for that, but that wasn't the issue. So it was turned all the way around. So yeah, you can say that was fair in that, but the unfairness is that it was supposed to have been a case concerning her, and her name was never mentioned.
Right.
So we got to stop throwing up smoke screens when it comes to law and doing these magician acts and blowing smoke up people's butt, and just get down to the facts and do the real case.
Well, rest in peace, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh yes, Ruth. Oh,
thank you for all that you've done, for your service and your commitment to equal rights. Thank you so much for your commitment. We hope that whatever it is you talking to with Jesus up there, tell him I said hey, and you already know, boo. You already know. The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. I will tell you who said it and why he said it, and then we're going to talk about it.
At least once a month.
No, that's not what you said. But okay. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back because LaShawn, you ain't got receipts to this one. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban Media Today.
I always say we're the most disrespected. I say it like once a month.
You do.
I'm counting off.
Don't be.
She does.
Stay with that.
I know the man.
Hey Girl Hey podcast, Urban Media Today.
Thanks, Jerry.
So y'all didn't hear. LaShawn's like, I said it at least once a week. Jerry's like, she does. She said it. So not only does LaShawn say, or has LaShawn said, the most disrespected person in America is a Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is a Black woman. The most neglected person in America is a Black woman. It was Malcolm X. Yeah,
I knew that.
And LaShawn Tipton.
Thank you.
And LaShawn.
I heard this when I was running, and I listened to this on Beyonce's Homecoming, Don't Hurt Yourself. And she play. Oh my God! And it gives me chills. I must admit I'm a little ignorant that I had never heard this before. I told you I'm a little woke. I think I'm one eye woke. I ain't woke. I'm just one eye woke. And it was just like, wow. I never. Wow, damn. And this was in the 60s that he said that. And just think of everything that has happened
from
since that this quote still relates to today and how we are being treated.
Right, because in the 60s, it used to be that Black women would stand outside and wait for a white woman to come and pick her out of a crowd to ask her to come clean her house. And it was back then, it was in slavery where Black women used to be, would breastfeed for
white
their master.
babies.
Right. Yeah. So tell me if that's not disrespect, where I can't pick up my own babies and breastfeed them, but I'm breastfeeding yours. I can't clean up my own house because I have to clean up yours, and where I work, I can't get a job unless you give it to me. I don't have a voice unless the white woman spoke up for you. I recall back some time ago when I was starting a business in my own city of Pittsburgh, when one of my friends had said to me, and she's a white woman, she said to me, in order to get this loan, she said, why don't you just put my name down? I swear I don't want anything. I'll sign off, whatever. Now, she knew that back 15 years ago, that the difficulties I was having on getting a loan at a couple major banks here in Pittsburgh. And when I say my credit is good, it's been good for years. She had worse credit than I did. But she said, just put my name down so it can look like a minority-owned business. So it would have been it wasn't minority enough that I owned the business as a Black woman. It was a minority business because she was white and a woman.
And a woman.
So I could have got the loan with her.
Wow.
So, are we disrespected? Heck yeah. Very disrespected. Very
unprotected and neglected.
Very
there were three examples that Lily.com had used to talk about how women are ignored, pictured as worthless and disregarded. Centoya Brown, of course, her outcome became more inspiring as far as her story. She was arrested at 16 years old, sentenced to life in prison for killing a 43-year-old stranger who picked her up. She was prostitutioner. But she, spent so many years in prison and finally was made, free. And now she's using her story to inspire young girls.
Right.
So the outcome for her story was positive, but still, because she was a Black girl, it did not matter. And I watched her documentary. It did not matter what she had to say. It did not matter. They looked at her background and saw that her biological mother was a drug addict or alcoholic. And I mean, she was guilty just before she even walked into the courtroom.
Right.
And, the women from the R. Kelly sex scandal was just like, well, I don't know if it was, their truths, they used them as an example, but their truths, no one paid them any attention. We immediately blamed them.
Yeah.
For you knew better and you did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, just disrespected and regarded. Now, the victory in that story is he was finally arrested and charged, and now he's in jail waiting for several of his trials, and he's been trying to get out since then. But you have stories like Sandra Bland, of course, Breonna Taylor, so many stories of women who have lost their lives just speaking their truths, or just being an innocent bystander, but their legacies being talked about, disrespected, and disregarded.
Right. Because, the adjectives that they use for Sandra Bland is angry and defiant.
Yeah.
That's always used. And those are emotions. Those have nothing to do with the person. Angry is an emotion. I feel angry. I feel disrespected, but I am not angry, and I am not that is not who I am. So they use those things. They use those words to define who that person is to make him look bad. Because that was used about her. That had nothing to do with Sandra Bland. I mean, somebody, if you get arrested for no reason, you're gonna be pissed too. But the word they use, oh yeah, she was defiant. She was angry. Well, pull me over too. Well, what's the so these are the words that they use for us all the time. They use these emotional words to get hyped up about who we were. When it comes to the R. Kelly women too, the sad thing is that there were Black men who knew about this and never said anything.
Never said nothing. Their managers, assistants, other music artists. I remember watching that documentary series, and the one guy, I don't know if maybe he was the tour manager or something like that. He said there was a bed, he had beds in the studios for the young girls. You know, he knew about the Aaliyah situation, getting her getting married and stuff like that. That's what trips me out. You know, the women came forward, said their truths. It's the men that hid behind it with him. You know what I mean? Like, that's what really bothered me the most. People knew about it, you know, and it makes me wonder, like, did R. Kelly threaten them? Did he pay them a bunch of money? I mean, he paid some of the families. If you remember going back, he had paid one of the families not to testify. Was it Sparkle's niece family?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. So, you know, and he was, I guess you can say, of authority, you know, powerful, whatever you want to call it.
Money.
People were, even the situation that just happened recently where the one girl got her car burned down, one of the girlfriends or whatever, because she's been coming out saying her truth, and we know, you know, it was probably one of R. Kelly's people. But it just shows you, like, you know, they want us to really silence ourselves, you know what I mean, and just act like everything's okay and move forward, and it's not okay. It's not okay.
I'm glad. Yeah, you're right, Jerry. You're at, when you said silence, it immediately made me think of former First Lady Michelle Obama. And in her Becoming documentary, folks were criticizing her for how she supported her husband, who became the first Black and only Black president of these United States. You know, you're too angry. You know, why are you fist bumping? Why are you showing your arms?
Right.
Why are you, you know, you're just so angry. Where we have, and I'm not trying to bash anyone, but you have a first lady who does not smile at
you barely see her.
And even Michelle Obama said, she was quoted as saying, if we could not get away with the things that happened in this White House today, if we did the things that happened that happened today, if we did those things when we were in the White House, oh my God, there's no way. So yes, it's unfair, it's disrespectful. Black women are unprotected. But here's my question to both of you, and I kind of predict what LaShawna's going to say. Who disrespects us the most? Do we disrespect ourselves the most?
It's a little bit of both.
Are we harder on our, we're oh my God. Oh man.
It's a little bit of both. I think
more, I hate to say it, with ourselves. I see it a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, with ourselves, especially in like my generation, you know what I mean? I see it a bit more. But I do think like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. What'd you say? Woman of a certain age.
You know, culturally, you'll see if you're around a lot of people of the same color and the same race. I mean, you can say I hear it a lot, you know, because that's what you're around, you know. So I mean, I'm around a little bit of everybody, but I it's a little bit of both when it comes to it, because one thing, I hear it in our music. I hear it in our television shows. I hate to say, you know, when you look at those little housewife shows,
Yeah.
Black women look angry, like they got
throwing bottles, we talking bad about each other.
Yes.
Yeah, but we feed into it. We could say no to those roles.
Exactly.
We could say no to those
we
checks,
feed into
but we don't.
Exactly.
But we don't.
You know, it gets me and it really got me. And somebody said, I can't, but they finally said, I understand why you're mad at that. It's just that it was one of these, it was one of the housewives. I think it was, I believe it was definitely the Atlanta housewives. When the one girl, Marla, was having an event. And
well, I can just imagine, because every time she has one, it's a problem.
Yeah, well, she was having an event for her business. and
but do you even see my reaction though?
Yeah.
Immediately it was just like,
yeah, it's more, you know, disregard, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to get better at that. But when we're portrayed on TV like that, what do you expect? What do you expect? But what got me is that she was having an event, and I don't care what all the stuff that she has done to whatever. And everybody says karma, and it comes back and bites you in the behind or whatever. But she had an event, and Kenya came into her event and like had like a drummers and all this stuff. This woman it was her event for her business. So when we're shooting people, when we're shooting each other in business, you know, that's bad. Like it definitely is a crab in a barrel type thing. So when you're doing stuff like that, and this sister's got a business, and this one, and all you do is talk about her business, but you go somewhere else, you know what I mean? Like, if we just really tried, like and it's not that I have anything against any other race, but I do when I can find a Black business, I really try my hardest to buy Black.
Yeah, me too.
That was the Black Wall Street. That's how it started. You know, I really try hard, and I have no disrespect for anybody else, but I really try to buy.
Because you want our people, you want your people to win.
I want them to win.
I was at a restaurant. Jared, have you what Fireside?
Wilkinsburg.
East Liberty by Target.
I've never been there.
Oh, Fireside, the chicken place.
Yeah.
Yeah, them expensive wings.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, yeah. Well, I had Brussels sprouts, but anyway, but there was two young ladies, and they had some toddlers with them. And the toddlers were acting up, and they were little Black babies, Black moms. And I'm sitting and I'm trying to hold a conversation with my friend, and there's a white family over here, and there's a white family over here. We're outside, mind you. We're having a pretty intense conversation, and I hear, and these kids are just throwing dirt. They're just and just acting them up, and I'm like,
Black kids.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, come on. Now, where I went with that, immediately I wanted to walk over to sis and be like, get your damn kids. What is wrong with you? She had an infant in her arms. It was only one woman at the time. I didn't notice that there were two. So it was 3 toddlers, and she had a baby in her hand, her arms. And she was like, y'all stop.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's telling them. And they're just like, shut up. And they're just throwing dirt. But then the other mother comes out. I told y'all in effing dirt. I was like, no. You want to root for the team. You want to root for the culture. You want to root for your sis. You want to be like, sis, not here.
Yeah.
Sis, not here.
Why not here?
You don't want to not be disregarded and disrespected, but don't put yourself in a position where you're disregarded and disrespected. And you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
No, you got a lot. You just blinked really, really long.
Oh, did? Okay.
You did. You went just like this.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I know you have a rebuttal.
Yeah, because we when we do things and we say things, we're always like, not in front of company. Don't do this in front of
Yeah.
And so
keep it under wraps. Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is this. I don't care about company. I don't care. Because everything that we do, we're like, you're not supposed to do this. But you know what? One thing that we don't pay attention is that if they have kids that run around, I've seen it, run around, get up and do everything. And nobody says anything, but we will go to and say, girl, tell them kids to be quiet, not in front of company. I think there's a different way to address things. You know, sometimes some people are a little tired. It's like, you know, you gotta say, hey baby, don't do that, sweetie. Come over here. You know, like she got some things going on. Sometimes it's our approach too that make us feel a certain kind of way, or because your approach to her, girl, don't be doing that right here, would have got you cussed out.
Yeah.
And then you would have had to say something, and it would have been in front of company. And what does it look like? Two angry Black women going at it.
See, I got a slow blink too. Yeah,
but everything we do is not in front of company. But we let them run around with their kids, because I think it becomes a mentality, because so long we've taken care of our kids, our ancestors have. When their kids run around, we'd be like, oh, look at him acting up. Our kids run around, you'd be like, you better sit your little behind.
But is it to protect your family honor? Is it to protect your family, though? To protect the family image? Because because it's already perceived that we ancestors from back, we're animals, we're I don't want to say untrained, but we're all over the place. We act like animals. So I think it's a way to prove to those who are looking at us and proving them wrong. Like, no, we do know how to act like we got some damn sense. Because that's exactly what my mother used to say. You better act like you got some damn sense.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I did have the sense.
Right.
And it disrespected my mother, me acting like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's why I look at it and say that's why the correction.
I get it. And I understand correction. I do. I think what we think sometimes is not what we think of ourselves, not what you think of yourself, but our thought is what I think that you think of me.
What other people think.
Right. Okay. You know, not what I think of myself, not what you think, but what I think of what you think of me becomes the issue. You know, this is, I mean, when you think.
No, I get it. It's just, it's like what I think that you think.
That's the issue. What not what I think of myself, but what I think that you think of me.
Right. I got it.
That's too much to deal with. That's too much to deal with. That's a lot.
But just back on the disrespect and the disregard and the neglected and the unprotected, who does? I think that we do it more. We count ourselves out first.
Yeah.
If I see, and I've been in a relationship for 15 years. We all know this, right? I think I've been on the same 15 years for 20 years, I think. But and so I'm good. But if I'm walking down the street, if I'm walking and I see a brother with a white female, I will look him in the eye. And he'll
they don't look.
He'll put his head down.
See, so
look at me. That's not cool.
That's so not cool. Why would you put your head down?
That's disregarding me. That's disrespected. So she's your queen. I don't have to be your queen. I'm not your woman.
Right.
Or maybe homegirl was saying, you better not look at no other woman. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Don't look at
don't look at no other female. But even with me and my man would be like, how you doing? How you doing, sis? How you doing, queen? You know what I mean? Like it's not an intimidation thing, but acknowledge.
Yeah, it is.
How you doing? How you doing, sis? You know what I mean? And say, yo, when I see a sister, I gotta show her. But everybody don't have that.
But when you see a Black man with a Black woman, do you still give him the same look in the eye?
Yes.
For him to speak to you? Oh, so it's not the white woman thing. It's just that you know he's.
What saddens me is that because I don't want you, but I want you to respect me.
First of all, I'm not giving all
Your
that.
Mama Black.
Yeah, I'm not giving all that eye contact to anybody. I mean, I'm truly about date who you want to date. My thing is because it doesn't show me. And at one time, I mean, I told you this is some evolution. I had to evolve to this point, just to be transparent. I wasn't always like this. But when I started to learn, I'm taking on other people's problems, and it doesn't have anything to do with me. That's too much to take on right there.
Yeah.
So I got to get my relationships together. So I'm thinking, bruh, if you're in a good relationship and she makes you happy, white, black, purple, or whatever. My goal is not my goal, but your goal is to be happy. And if you're happy, you're happy. I'm not going to add no other stress or put some stress on me for somebody that I don't feel that I don't like who they're with.
Right.
I'm not giving you that look. I'm not giving you that look down the, when I walk down the street, I'm looking at you like you should say hello to me because I'm a black queen. No, you should say hello to me because
you're a person.
Because you're a person, and you should respect me because I respect you.
Right.
It's the whole. We do this like I'm your black queen. Yeah, okay, we are kings and queens, but we got to treat each other like that. If I'm a single one, if I'm walking by myself with nobody, then I don't care. Hello,
I Jada Pinkett do it.
You got it. So
that part.
I don't.
That part.
That part right there. That part right there.
That part.
Respect me for just general purposes.
That finger be all up in the camera, like
right.
What do you think, Jer?
What was I going to say? Oh, going to the speaking thing. So me and my mom was walking on the trail today, and actually 2 white couples walked past us. They were the first to say hello. Said hi, how you doing? And then we kept walking. On the way back to our cars, black man, we were expecting him to say something to us. He didn't even look our way and said nothing. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm friendly. I was going to speak, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, he just had his head. He was by himself. He just had his head down. And I'm just like,
oh, that's so sad.
No, it isn't. Come on.
It's sad. No, it's sad to see a black man put his head down. Don't put your head up, black man. Don't put your head down. I'm raising a young black man.
Yeah, don't read too much into that. But I'm telling you right now, I can understand when a black man puts his head down and don't speak to anybody because he gets shot down for speaking. He gets so go around and walk. And sometimes it's quiet. Yeah. I walk the trails every day, and there's this guy. Shout out to Clay. That's my dude. But Clay would walk past me and my sister would go around this track. We go we do 5.5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clay would walk past us. I had if you speak to him, he'll speak to you. And I used to tell my sister, I don't really too much say nothing to him because he really don't say anything. So my sister was like, oh, I get it. She said, in this climate, a black man speaking to anybody, she said, and out here on the trails, nah, somebody's gonna be like, hey, this black man did so and so. She said, I'm not saying nothing either. I said, sis, you're right. You're right. So, every time we see him, because it doesn't always have to be that we think they're disrespectful when they don't speak to us. But you got to extend that too. You got to, they need to feel the love just as much as we say we want to be loved. We got to show love.
And we can't turn it down if they speak to us like, we can't, we can't, if they compliment us. But see, I think it's because it's tradition. I'm not making excuses, but it's just something that's been going on for so long. And now we're at a time in our life where everything is super important now. The way we look at somebody, the way we respond to somebody, the way we tweet something, the way we support something, the way we speak something, everything is under a magnifying glass, if not by our community, but definitely by the rest of the country. And we really have to be more receptive and respectful when it comes. So if a man gives you a compliment, sis, thank you. And if she doesn't want to have a drink, she doesn't want to have conversation, it's okay. There will be more women that will reject you. Maybe change your game up. It's okay. She doesn't have to be a bitch. You can't, don't call her out her name just because of that. And there's going to be a lot of times that's going to happen. But we have to change it. We definitely have to change it. I don't know if we have to. Yes, that's absolutely right, LaShawn. And I don't know if it comes with our kids and how we teach our kids how to compliment a young lady. I know I have a good friend. Her name is Allegra. And I don't know if you know Allegra Battle. She will compliment you. Oh, girl, I love your shoes. Oh, girl, those earrings are cute. Oh, you look real cute today. Every time she'll see you, she will compliment. You could be wearing just a snot rag and some flip-flops. I like how you got that snot rag put together, sis. Yes, girl, I see you. Yes, snot rag. She don't care. She can bring such a positive light. And even if she doesn't mean it, it makes me feel better. There are women out here that be like, I'm not just this.
Right.
And you're like, damn, I was just saying, hey, queen, hey, sis, like, you know, and
that's okay.
like you said, change the narrative, we have to.
Narrative change, you know, what is it, generational curses and things like. I'm quick to give a compliment. I love complimenting our women. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I'll say, oh, I like your hair. I like your shoes. And when I was at the gym the other day, I saw, you know, Black woman who was, you know, heavier set. And I said, go ahead, girl, you got it. Go ahead. You can do that. You know, she was real strong, you know, doing the weight, everything. I said, go ahead. She was just smiling, you know what I mean? It's just so uplifting and motivating.
When you said that to me, Jerry, at the gym, that did make me feel better. When you said that to me at the gym.
That was you?
That was me, girl. That was me. That was me, girl. I was struggling, child. I was struggling. But yeah, you're right.
It's not hard to compliment. You know, it's sad because, you know, there's women who, if you're going to the grocery store, if you're taking a walk or wherever, if you're out at the mall, like, there's some girls who will look at you straight up and down and not say anything, you know? And
those are the ones I love to speak to. I'll go, hey.
Oh yeah, those are the or what'll happen is I'll face and like I'll like, because this happened to me one time. It was I had my afro out, you know. This was probably like a year or so ago, and this particular day my afro was looking really nice. But I was,
if you must say yourself,
I must say myself, it was very nice. But this another Black woman,
if she clapped her hands one more damn time.
I'm sorry. It was another Black. You know what I noticed real quick? Every time I wear my afro, I get a lot of compliments from white people. I get so many. I don't know if this has happened to you before. All the time, I get so many more compliments from white people with my afro than Black people. I'll get some from Black people, not so many. But anyways,
you look just like the book.
Oh my God, you're beautiful. The curls. So then, so the Black, I know, you know, you can tell somebody's looking at you. So I was in line to get something, maybe some food because I'm greedy, but I forgot. So I turned my head because I was talking to the person I was with, and she was all in my face. And then I just made a face. Like, I would just like kind of like roll my eyes, whatever. So then she's like, oh my, then that's when she's like taps me or whatever. She's like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. Like, how do you get your curls like that? But I'm just like, you had to stare me up and down. I had to make a face for you to say something. You know what I mean? So like, I don't understand it.
Was that the white woman or the Black woman who did that?
It was a Black woman. A white woman didn't do that.
But she was probably asking a question with her face, and it was coming out like, she's probably like, I can't never get my curls to look like that. How curls?
Like,
how her curls looking like, ma'am, I'm gonna need you not to use your face muscles.
How she was looking at me
with your words.
I don't know. I just be having it's just my defense face. Like, you all in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, we need to do better. We all need to do better. And it starts with us. So I saw someone say we need to protect our Black women. Yes, you do. And we need to protect each other too. We need to look out for each other. We need to be our sister's keeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we can be. I love y'all.
Love you too, Key Brown.
So so that's it, because we have another podcast about to start in a second. I am the radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I am the chatter chick, LaShawn Tipton.
And I'm your millennial chick, Jerry.
It gets longer every week. We forgot to talk about where you can find us and how to find and follow us. Sorry. Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
You know, the Hey Girl, Hey podcast. We are on multiple platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Live 365. Tune in, Podbean, and the one and only urbanmediatoday.com.
And we are also on Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
I totally forgot we are on Google Podcasts as well.
I think, I saw that.
Yeah. I know. We everywhere. We worldwide. How can they find us on social media?
You know, I'm not the social media chick.
You won't find her. You'll find us.
You ain't gonna find me too much on that social media. Shoot, I got me a life, but I want you to look at my life on this radio podcast. So you can find us on Instagram at Hey Girl Hey Podcast 2018 or Facebook at the Hey Girl Hey Podcast. Sorry. I was like, what's this? My watch is going off. Or at Twitter at Girl Hey 2018. Or you can email us at the Hey Girl Hey Podcast at gmail.com. Or you can give us a call at 412-709-6130.
That's it.
That's it. We
That
got it.
is
Thank you.
it.
Thank y'all so much for
And
watching.
We are live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube.
We live.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much, girls. I love y'all.
Love you too.
Lati.
It's the Hey Girl Hey. Me and you must never part except for today.
I know I got another call.
She got another call. I'll talk to you guys later. It's the Hey Girl
Stay
Hey Podcast
booked and busy.
Urban Media today. Bye, booked and busy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.